Prodigies, Bendy Chapter 4 is now in production and TheMeatly has recently released a brand new trailer to tease it. Prodigies, I am so excited about this and I want to go straight into analyzing this trailer because it is so hyped. It gives us so much information about what we could expect. I'll be covering about 11 different things we can expect from Bendy Chapter 4, so be sure to watch this video all the way through. If you're new, remember to subscribe and tap that bell for Bendy and horror game theories that actually make sense. So I just want to make this clear from the start because I know a lot of people are going to comment about this. There is no release date for Bendy Chapter 4 yet. I can already see the comments coming and I can already see the clickbait videos coming that are going to tell you that Bendy Chapter 4's release date was revealed in the production trailer. No, it's saying it is now in production, so just chill out. These guys need a couple of months at least to make this game. And don't forget they've got 3 other chapters to update. If you want a prediction from me, I think it might be released sometime around February because it would be cool to release Chapter 4 on the anniversary of Bendy and the Ink Machine, which I believe was February the 10th. It's just something that would be super special, but considering that that's only about 3 months away, it would be a big ask and I do not expect it to be released on that day. If it is, awesome. It's going to be something special for not only the team, but also Bendy fans worldwide, because that's when Bendy came into the world. Now this trailer is very simple, but it gives us a ton of information. What we can see is a camera panning down, and the first thing that I notice is everything is very, very dark and inky. You can see inky pillars flowing down from above the screen. There are little lanterns all over the place, and we can also see what seem to be cages that are chained from the ceiling. This area looks like some kind of prison, and it could be connected to level S, which is where we end off at the end of Bendy Chapter 3. That's where Alice Angel captures Boris. It would also make sense with everything that we've seen so far up until Chapter 3, how the ink flows down deeper and deeper into the studio and pulls up in certain areas. This area in particular has a lot of ink, and we can hear that it's quite moist, so there is definitely an ink puddle forming somewhere in this area. Perhaps this is where Alice Angel keeps all the cartoons that she's captured so that she can start doing her sick experiment on them. We've already seen her chamber in Chapter 3, where there's a ton of Butcher Gang members and Borises just strewn all over the place with their chests cut open. This may just be the area where she does all of that nasty cutting to harvest their hearts. Because this area is so dark and inky, what I'm thinking is that we may be in store for more need for the flashlight, or perhaps even puzzles that involve turning on lights in order to get to the next section. Perhaps we will need to light lanterns, perhaps we'll need to collect flashlights. Just overall, I think it's going to be a lot more challenging. Then, as we go down further, we can see none other than Alice Angel watching over her prison. It looks like Chapter 4 is preparing us for a huge conflict with Alice, and given that we've seen Boris is on the line at the end of Chapter 3, I believe it. What makes this part of the trailer a little bit scary is that it looks like she's holding something. Could this be the axe that we see at the end of Chapter 3's Angel Path? If so, we might just have to clash with Alice. Perhaps we will get to run away from her, kind of like we did from Bendy. If there happens to be an area in level S that Alice controls, this is possible. She has proven that she can keep Bendy out of her chamber on level 9, and she might even have safe areas all over the studio. Also, she might not be very happy to learn that Henry survived the elevator crash, unless she has more dirty work for him to complete. One thing's for sure, she certainly has a lot of ink to play around with. Since she showed that she hated tainted ink in Chapter 3, it is likely that this ink is the type that she needs for her work on Boris, or what she needs to do to perfect herself. Perhaps it is the goopy thick ink that we have to collect for her. It almost resembles the ink in the Demon Path room that has Joey Drew's audio recording, because we can see there that the ink flows from the ceiling to the ground, pulls up at the bottom, but it also forms these pillars all over the place, kind of like the rock formations that you would see in a cave. She might also be using this ink to form inanimate objects because we also saw in that Demon Path room that there were inky inanimate objects there, such as chairs and cabinets. Now as the camera reaches the bottom of the screen, yes we see Alice Angel, yes we see all of these cages, yes we see the ink and we can hear the ink, but what's behind Alice Angel? There is a table with Boris the Wolf laying on it. Yes, she hasn't gone through with her rituals yet and there's a chance that we have to save Boris the Wolf and that we can save Boris. But something worries me about this scene, Prodigies, because we can see what seems to be sparks flying out from the right-hand side of the screen. So what the heck is Alice doing to poor Boris here? We can hear a lot of machinery happening all over the place. The machine sounds sound a lot like the sounds that we can hear in Bendy Chapter 3, especially when we're moving around Heavenly Toys and that toy department where Sean Flynn's recording is. But what could this mean for poor Boris? We do remember that Alice wanted to feed her machines when she got us to do her errands for her in Bendy Chapter 3, so perhaps these are the machines that Boris are subject to. Judging from those sparks, it looks like she's got a spinning saw on her hands. But do remember, if you beat Bendy Chapter 3 on the Angel path, you get a special screen showing that she had an axe nearby as well. So perhaps she has both. She's got more advanced technology, and she seems a bit more sick than we first thought. Judging from the music that we can hear playing in this trailer, I feel like we're going to learn something really sad about the studio, as if it hasn't gotten sad enough. But something tragic is going to happen, and it might just be there because Boris is laying on a table behind Alice Angel about to get his chest chopped open. There doesn't seem to be any sign of Bendy, and everything looks like this gigantic, dire situation. I have to admit, when I first heard this, I got Legend of Zelda vibes, and it gave me that kind of adventurous feeling, almost as if we're going to come to some kind of climax. But this is only chapter 4 out of 5 chapters, so let's not count our chickens before they hatch. All I know for sure is that I can see a clear shot of our precious Floopy Snoot, and I want to get him back. Now, I know by now everybody's going to be going crazy over this next point, and yes, I do see the gigantic hand that is next to the Alice Angel figure that we can see in this trailer. This hand looks like it came from the statue that we could see when we were entering Alice Angel's chamber, where it had that banner that said, "She's quite the gal." Why is this here? Perhaps it has a magical property that can hold things for her while she's doing other things. Perhaps it's just broken down and found its way down there. Or perhaps it's just an ornament that she wanted to have there, because she does seem to love herself quite a lot. Whatever the case is with the hand, I don't think it has a huge part to play in the trailer. It's probably just an ornament, and it probably won't be a game changer. At the end of the trailer, we've also got an organ that plays. Now this is really interesting because we haven't heard or seen an organ since Bendy Chapter 2, and when that happened, whenever we played the organ, we could hear someone screaming in the background, and if you played that over and over, you'd eventually get an achievement called Johnny's Broken Heart. That led a lot of people to believe that there's somebody called Johnny in the game. I think there's word out there that says that Johnny's Broken Heart refers to a Johnny Cash song, but I cannot remember if this was confirmed by the devs. Whatever the case may be, we may be introduced to a brand new character, or we may be reintroduced to an old character. If you can remember, in Bendy Chapter 2, Sammy Lawrence's death scene was updated, so when he gets caught by Bendy, a pool of ink doesn't flow out from under his door like we used to see in the older versions, which has led a lot of people to believe that Sammy Lawrence hasn't died yet, and since Sammy Lawrence was the music director of Joey Drew's cartoon studio, he just might be the one playing the organ in the trailer. Okay, pause. Future ProdCharles here. So while I was editing this video, one of the Twitter prodigies alerted me to a secret that actually unlocked Sammy Lawrence in Bendy Chapter 3. Now what does this secret mean? I think it means that Sammy Lawrence really didn't die. So I stopped everything and made that video, which is, by the way, why this video was delayed. But I was just thinking as I was editing, what if this is actual confirmation that Sammy Lawrence will be in Chapter 4? Having a secret dedicated to just Sammy, along with the themes of him being a music director, as well as there being an organ in his music department, and an organ being played in the trailer, it just seems too good to be true. Anyway, as I was saying, but then again, we don't know the talents of every other character in the game. For example, we know that Henry for sure has a lot of talent in drawing. And if you can remember, in Bendy Chapter 3, we found out that he has a secret audio that stated that he was going to draw a character that he thought people were going to love. Tap this video to find out who, or check out these videos which were picked just for you. If you're new, tap my face to subscribe and tap that bell for more Bendy and horror game theories that actually make sense. And prodigies, I hope these videos help to expand on how you think. See ya!